that this can be a life-changing opportunity. Don't you agree, Dan?
Definitely, without a
Yes.
doubt.
And I really feel if we can create enough momentum and enough people taking part in these products that we can create a shift in healthcare in the United States and abroad as well. But we need the biggest shift, I think, in the United States. That's my humble opinion as a U.S. citizen. So uh, maybe we'll start off, and I'll let you say a few words, Dan, about why you felt this was something to put your credibility and your name behind and your reputation behind.
Certainly. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, in my case, I think in retrospect, you made a comment last week or the week before where you said that in the United States, there's a gap of about 10 years between life expectancy and people's health. And those words really hit home because I have experienced that on a personal level with both of my parents. They became very ill at separate times, almost exactly to the day, 10 years before they passed away. And it was just awful to watch. It was, doctor visits where it was just doling out medications, and often the medications would conflict with one another and cause more side effects than what they went in for in the first place. And it was sort of just a slow downward spiral that just kept picking up pace. And being 70, um, I'm 10 years from where they started that downhill slide. And back in my, earlier life, I started in business and did well. I had a number of businesses. Things were pretty easy for me in life. I was good in school, good in sports, and good in business when I started out. Had a number of startups, ended up selling two of them to New York Stock Exchange companies and the third to a NASDAQ company. And then, I had a personal tragedy. My 16-year-old son contracted mononucleosis and ended up having his spleen burst during the night and died 3 days later. And it just turned my life upside down. Um, so that was actually when I ended up selling the businesses. And then, was caring for my other son and my ex-wife and, went through a period where I was trying to, struggling and trying to find meaning and understand what happened and why. And along the way, my health started to fail because I think I just pushed down all of these emotions and feelings and tried to push through it. And literally spent 10 years getting sicker and sicker, going to doctors through, allopathic medicine, traditional medicine to some degree for certain things, but not for everything. And it was really natural healthcare. It was a chiropractor who was using nutrition as part of his practice that turned my health around and opened my eyes open to a whole different world. I then spent the next 10 years, um, studying with Manju Joyce, Patabi Joyce's son of Ashtanga Yoga, Robert Peng, Qigong master, trying to learn as much as I could. And I actually got certified in nutrition response testing and nutrition, and have been focused on exercise and healthcare, and not so much from a perspective of longevity, although that's the buzzword today. Everybody wants to live longer. My attitude has always been, I don't care if I live a minute longer than I would have not doing all these things, but I want to be healthy until that day comes. I don't want to spend the last 10 years of my life in misery. And when I look around at people, especially my nieces, nephews, younger people, I'm concerned because I see health issues. Now I've kind of woken up to it, and I can see where people are headed pretty easily. And like you said, it's scary what's going on in the United States. I think there is some awakening to some degree, but not enough. And, people don't like to work hard at health. And I had never heard of Immunotech or Immunocal. I've been doing this for, over 25 years, and I was shocked. Everyone understands the importance of glutathione in the body, in the cells, but there was no easy way to increase it and improve it. And it just plays such an essential role in health and longevity. And Immunotech and Immunocal has so much research. They've spent 45 years researching this product, the main product. They've spent over $25 million on research, and they have customers that are so loyal. I mean, Mike Patillo told us that they have 15,000 customers that have been ordering the product daily for over 20 years. And to me, that says it all right there. And since I've been on the product, I've noticed incredible amounts of energy. Almost feel as if I'm 15 again. Old injuries that I had in my teens and 20s are slowly disappearing, mostly, knee and ankle injuries that were stiff, I would say arthritic. It's just amazing to me. And I'm getting some astounding results with some of my clients. I mean, literally, they're pinching themselves. They start taking, I explain the benefits of Immunocal, the fact that it's a precursor that helps your body create glutathione intracellularly. And most of them understand the importance of glutathione. And then they'll start taking it. And literally, I get texts within a few days from some of them. They're amazed. They're saying, I've had this pain in my neck, which is an 8 out of 10 for 30 years, and it's gone. It can't be the Immunocal, can it? And another woman who was sleeping maybe 4 hours, 4.5 hours a night, texting me, telling me, I'm sleeping 7 to 7.5 hours a night, and I'm only on day 4. Can this be the Immunocal? And it just gets better from there. So I don't mean to go on, but it's an exciting topic for me.
It is, and I understand why you can go on. But since we have so many people in rooms and here tonight that maybe aren't as versed as you are, Dan, on the Immunocal and Immunotech products, let me take a minute and bring people up to speed because it is amazing. And once you get to the point where Dan and I have gotten, you'll have the same enthusiasm and the same level of just wanting to go on and on because it is exciting and it is literally mind blowing. I know I tell people all the time, I can't believe this company has been around for practically my whole career, and I could have been helping so many more people. And here we are tonight discussing something that I just heard about at the beginning of this year. But at least we heard about it. And here we are able to talk about it and help you and help your friends and help your family with this information. So what we're talking about, as Dan alluded to, is a glutathione precursor. The importance of that is you cannot get glutathione directly into your body taking it orally. You can get it in with an infusion or an injection, but it's just zapped up very quickly. Also, we have negative feedback loops in our body, just like we have positive feedback loops in our body. And so when you start infusing or injecting on a regular basis, if you can afford to do it on a regular basis because it's very expensive, you are shutting down your body's own ability to make glutathione. And you already have a diminished ability to make it as you age. And the research proves that the people that tend to live the longest and are the healthiest have higher levels of glutathione. So we may be, it's not definitive yet, but we may be talking about the fountain of youth here tonight. And nobody wants to die any quicker than they need to, and they certainly don't want to have a health challenge any sooner than they need to. I know Dan alludes to his family, his mom and dad. My father-in-law happened to suffer 19 years after a stroke before he passed away, and he was miserable. I can attest, and the rest of us were miserable because he couldn't control his behavior and emotions the way he normally did. And so We don't want that for any of you. We certainly don't want it for ourselves. And that's the power of Immunocal. You make these body shots, which I'm sure you'll be doing in your rooms, and you take a packet, you pour it in the appropriate amount of water, shake it up for 30 seconds, and drink it. And by doing that every day for 90 days, you are, and this is proven by research, increasing your levels of glutathione by 35%. And that's miraculous. It really is miraculous. When you start reading about what glutathione does in your body, you can literally Google about anything and add glutathione, and it will tell you why that is beneficial to that condition. You know, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, traumatic brain injuries, cancers, strokes, you name it. All the biggies, and the small ones too, benefit from increased glutathione in the body. So when people understand what this product is doing at a very affordable cost, in my opinion, and if it's not affordable, you just have to tell a couple people and get them to be customers, and it pays for your product. That's how easy it is. But the benefits far outweigh the cost. There is nothing, in my opinion, that you can do that dollar for dollar creates a bigger health impact in your cells than this product, Immunocal. And it does work. It's proven that it works at a tissue level, not just a blood level, a tissue level. And that's where the rubber meets the road. You know, medicine focuses on blood, but blood is not really where health is. You know, they'll lower your cholesterol in the blood. They'll lower your blood sugar. You know, all this blood testing, it is an indication of health, but it's just a transport medium. You can have good blood levels and still get cancer. You can have good blood levels and still have a stroke or a heart attack. So real health happens at the tissue level, and that's where the magic of Immunocal happens, is at the tissue level by boosting glutathione. Okay, what's glutathione do? Why is it so important? If you remember, as Dr. Gutman, probably the foremost authority on glutathione that's alive today, he asks you to remember the acronym IDEA. I standing for, I like to add an extra one. He says inflammation, but I say inflammation and immunity, because immunity is so very important, and glutathione enhances your immunity. Then the D stands for detoxification. We are exposed to so many toxins, heavy metals, and chemicals in our environment. We are all toxic, and we all need daily detoxification. You can't go on a cleanse anymore once a year like I used to do. You can't, you know, maybe do a liver cleanse here and there. That doesn't work anymore. You've got to be keeping up with these chemicals that are attacking our body on a daily basis. You've got to beat them out on a daily basis. So detoxification on a daily basis with this product. Then A, okay, is antioxidant. Glutathione is considered the master antioxidant. No other antioxidant works without glutathione being present in the tissues. That's why it's the master antioxidant. It neutralizes oxidative molecules quicker than any other molecule out there. And we've, you know, all heard about the vitamin C's and etc. that are antioxidants, but this is the master one. And one of our aging theories is tied to oxidative stress. The last one is energy, which Dan already alluded to. But imagine if you're cleaning up your environment, if you're getting rid of inflammation, if you're reducing oxidative stress, why would you not have more energy from a cellular level to a tissue level all the way up to your organism level? Absolutely, you're going to have more energy because you're running more efficiently. Glutathione is a peptide. Peptides certainly have, you know, met the press with GLP-1, so we all know about peptides. Any molecule that has less than 40 amino acids is classified as a peptide. Above 40 amino acids is a protein. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins and peptides. Glutathione happens to be a 3 amino acid molecule. What makes Immunocal so beneficial is it gives the necessary amino acid cysteine to the tissues so it can bind it with glycine and glutamate, which are the other two amino acids that make up the uh, molecule, the peptide molecule, so that we are efficiently making glutathione. So we are limited by the amount of glutathione we can make by how much cysteine is available in the cell. And we are just flooding the cell with cysteine in the best possible way. There is no other proven way to get cysteine to the tissues as effectively as Immunocal does. So that gives you a thumbnail sketch of what we're doing with this precursor of glutathione. And that's important that you call it a precursor of glutathione. We never want a person to think that we're taking glutathione, because we are not. And it is not effective or an efficient way to raise glutathione by taking glutathione. I talked to a patient just today that says, wow, I'm taking glutathione. I must be doing something good. I said, well, you're probably, according to research, absorbing less than 1%. And really, if you look at that, it's statistically insignificant. So you may be getting zero benefit from it. So in my terms, you're wasting your money. So taking glutathione is not a beneficial way to raise glutathione in your body, blood level anyway. So did I forget anything, Dan?
No, I think you've covered just about everything. But I have a question for you. And by the way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and I'll ask Dr. Phillips, or I'll answer them myself if they're easy. Um, I
I
picked
get
the
all
easy
the
ones.
hard ones, huh,
You
Dan?
get it all exactly. But I'm interested, and I'm sure others are as well. What was really the turning point for you in getting so excited after so many years in practice about Immunocal? You know,
Well,
before you even tried it, what really excited you about it?
the research. I'm a nerd by self-proclaimed nerd, I guess. I read the research. A lot of people do not, but I read the research. I spend my evenings surfing PubMed or reading a book or what have you. And PubMed, just for people that don't know, is the free government website. You can go there, any of you, pubmed.gov, and search glutathione if you want. There's over 200,000 published research articles on glutathione and the benefits of glutathione. You can do glutathione in whatever condition you want and find published research about that. It's hard to sometimes sift through the research if you're not familiar with some of the terminologies, but it can be entertaining just to look at how much information is out there on glutathione. On this particular product, there's over 100, like 126 published studies. And then the one thing I did realize I forgot to talk about is the functional patents. And that really excited me, probably, Dan. That's the one that, because I'd never heard of functional patents. I don't know if you had. I had not, when it related to natural health uh, supplements.
Yeah, no, I hadn't either.
And so the functional patents allows us to have confidence that this product will help with specific conditions. And some of those specific conditions that I can remember off the top of my head are neurodegenerative disorders, traumatic brain injuries. It's a chemotherapeutic agent, helps with autism, ADHD. So these are all conditions that have been researched and proven to have a beneficial response from Immunocal. So you're not just saying, hey, I had a friend take this and they had this result. That's a testimony. This is proven fact that this product will now do this in this situation. And that's important because how many times I know it happens to me. Doesn't happen as often, especially in my practice, because I've earned the trust of my patients, but it still happens occasionally. Oh, let me try it. Shelby assisted me just recently get a box of Immunocal to a colleague friend of mine who happened to live very close to her, and so that's why she assisted. But he said, "Oh yeah, I want to try that." I'm like, "Really? You want to try it? What are you going to prove or disprove by trying this product?" You know? And it kind of makes me chuckle because I have never seen a product that has this much research and has these functional patents. I mean, yes, I want to try it. I want to experience the benefits of it, I guess, is what I mean by that. It's not like I'm trying it to prove that it works and it does what it says it does. I'm trying it because I want to feel it, you know. But but it's not, that wasn't the convincing factor or the limiting factor for me getting involved with Immunocal because the research was there, the research was indisputable, and that's what swept me away.
Yeah. I think for me, it was listening to you and Dr. Jimmy Gutman on a webinar. I was blown away by the research, the amount of time that they've been researching the product and developing the product and working with the product and the success that they've had with it. And then I went on YouTube and I did a little search on Dr. Jimmy Gutman and glutathione, and up comes 120 YouTube videos that he has done, different interviews over the years, decades, I should say, and it basically on every single condition you can think of. And we're starting to get some questions, which is what I'm segueing into. So the
Oh,
first
good.
one is, can you speak to lung issues and lung cancer, please? So if you don't mind, let me start. So my family was in construction. My dad had a roofing and siding business. He was in the Navy. He was on a destroyer. He was under the decks, and they had fully exposed asbestos ceilings everywhere in the destroyer. And then when he got out of the Navy, his brother got him roofing in Long Island, and they were doing just roof after roof houses. And my dad would do the asbestos siding. So when I grew up, I was expected to help. So on weekends and holidays, 10 years old, 11 years old, I used to pick up the asbestos pieces, put them in a bucket, and dunk them in the truck. So by the time I got to high school, I was roofing on the weekends and holidays. And then in college, that's where I went through college. So I was exposed to a lot of toxins and it affected my breathing. I started to have, a lot of allergy issues, breathing issues. And then later in life, borderline asthma. All of these are gone since I've been on Immunocal. I mean, this is like my breathing is amazing. I can't believe it. And that's what my dad died of. The last 10 years of his life, it was COPD, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, and I'm sure lung cancer as well. And they had him on all kinds of medications and oxygen. But why don't you go ahead? Well, how would Immunocal help lung issues? And there's also a great YouTube video by Dr. Jimmy Gutman that you can search on, all on lung issues. That's an amazing watch if you're interested as well. But go ahead.
Yeah, YouTube and search those apps. My experience, what you're going to see is with the enhancement of the immune system, is you're going to see, if you think of I'm trying to explain this for all levels. So if you think of the immune system like having these little Pac-Men, do you remember Pac-Man from years ago? They go in there and kind of munch up all
You're
the
showing your
cancerous
age.
cells and munch up all the bad stuff that's in the tissues and allows that tissue then to heal and repair. Like in the case of asbestosis, those little fibers, they got to get removed, otherwise the lung will scar around them. And so these little macrophages come in and clean up all the debris, the cellular debris and the other stuff that you've inhaled, and allows your lungs to heal and you to breathe more efficiently. So it just cleans everything out so that healing and repairing can take place. Think of if you bought an old house. What's the first thing you do? You gut it, you get all the garbage out, and then you start fixing everything. And that's what Immunocal does for the lungs in this case.
Right? How can Immunocal help with Lyme?
Well, Shelby has a great testimony, so she can share that maybe. But again, that's a Lyme disease is a situation where you have toxins in the body and your body needs to detoxify. And so that's what glutathione does so very well. Glutathione is a major detoxifying molecule. In fact, glutathione concentrations are highest in the liver, and that's where most of your detoxification pathways occur. And glutathione is necessary for phase 2 detoxification to happen. And when that happens, it allows the toxins to be bound in a water-soluble molecule so they can be eliminated through the kidneys. So Lyme disease responds very well to the Immunocal.
Shelby, do you want to talk about your experience with Lyme? Don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
No, yeah, that's fine. So I've had Lyme disease for about 10 years. Louder. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
just speak up a little bit more and you'll be fine.
Okay. So I got Lyme disease about 10 years ago, and I didn't really know I had it until 3 years ago. And so, I'm a single mom. I have 6 kids. I was a real estate agent, and all of a sudden, I'm not able to function the same. I can't lift my arms up, to curl my hair. I can't. It just was so tired, and my body hurt so bad. And so Kim and Tibor had reached out to me and knew that I had Lyme disease and said, hey, this product has the science behind it. And I'm sure anyone that's on here that's had Lyme disease knows that it's a lot of work to try to find wellness clinics. And then all of a sudden you kind of in this big round circle where you're spending thousands of dollars and you really get tired of trying things out. And so the only reason I was willing to listen was because it had science, because of the proof. And I wasn't interested in trying things anymore, but I was still open. And that was something I think anyone that's dealing with a chronic illness or disease is always open, right? Like you're always hoping it's the next thing. And so I started on the product, and Dr. Phillips will test that. I definitely went full send a little too aggressively. I was so excited that one of the patents, the actual functional patent was on Lyme disease. I was like, oh, so it's going to work. Great. I've been looking around for 10 years for this. And I went and started doing 3 packs a day. And let me just tell you, I had a massive herxing effect. 8 straight days. It was pretty aggressive. But what I learned through that is it was working. And I don't know what just happened, but something happened. I don't really know, what it was doing. I just know it was detoxing me to a very high level. And it actually took me a little longer than most people. I will say I was watching everybody have these success stories in 5 days and 7 days and 2 weeks, and I was getting a little jealous. But I stuck with it because of the proof and the science, and I knew it was going to work. But I also have to remember, and anyone that has something like this, there's a lot of bacteria involved in this and detoxing, and so you got to give your body time. And I've been on the product now for 5 months, and at about the 2 month mark, I can say that I definitely started getting more energy. It feels like you have a sedative when you have Lyme disease. You're just 24/7 tired. And so about 2 months in, I started getting energy. And then about the 3 month mark, I really noticed that I was thinking very clear. Something with Lyme that happens is I have neurological Lyme. And so kind of sounds like you have a stroke sometimes because you just can't talk. I'd be like, I probably shouldn't sell houses anymore. I'm going to give away a house accidentally. Like it wasn't good. But at the 3 month mark, I was able to I felt like I finally had my brain back, and it just honestly gets better and better. And actually my pain levels were really high. And I remember being on the plane to fly to Kim and Tibor's house. And I remember sitting there going, I don't feel like I want to cry right now. And was it 100% by then? No. But I could definitely tell it was working. So it's been a phenomenal thing for me. And I think if anyone is on any product, you got to remember, I mean, on Immunocal that it took us a long time to get this way. And on the cellular level, you're really working on a foundation. It's not like a Band-Aid. And you got to give your body time. So.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby.
So, Dr. Phillips, the next question is, how does Immunocal help people with MS?
Well, again, MS is a neurodegenerative condition. And I want to be clear about that functional patent. They're this close to having it. They don't quite have it, but when you are, again, when the cells are degenerating, they're inflamed. And so this is a powerful anti-inflammatory molecule, and it allows that inflammation to get out of the neurons so that the cells can repair and have benefit. We have a woman on the team that has cerebral palsy, and she's done amazing with the Immunocal. And so that's in a similar vein as MS, and it allows you to again, heal and repair at a level that you normally cannot. Normally, the degeneration of your neurons is happening more quickly than the body can repair them, which is why we have the disease process. But the glutathione ramps that up and reverses that trend where we're eliminating a lot of the degenerative process so that we can start to heal and repair the neurons.
Great. Oh, we have a testimonial here. So this is from David. This is amazing. When I was in the hospital recently for advanced heart failure, this is the only supplement my medical team, including an advanced pharmacist and several doctors, agreed that I should stay on. So that's
And we should
impressive.
add that this product is in the PDR, the physician's desk reference. And when you read in there in the PDR, it says there are no known interactions or negative interactions. What that means is there's no reason that a medical doctor who is not familiar with Immunocal but references the PDR should say you can't be on this product because it's 100% natural. It doesn't negatively interact with anything. In fact, in most cases, it enhances whatever treatment they might be recommending. So in the case of cancer, for example, it enhances chemo and radiation benefits. So no known interactions. That's powerful.
Wow. So what is the physician's desk reference? Who has access to that?
Everybody has access to that, but mainly your doctors are the ones that use it, your medical doctors, because it allows them to reference every single medication and read about how it works in your body and read about how it interacts and potential side effects and other drug nutrient interactions so that they aren't giving you something that would conflict and create a negative response in your body.
Oh, wow. So do pharmacists have access to that as well?
100%, yes.
So if you're on a medication, you could ask your pharmacist if this is okay to take as well.
Yeah, some pharmacies actually stock this product. We've
Really?
got pictures of the pharmacies that carry it and that you can see it on their shelves.
Wow. Here's another, looks like a testimonial from Catherine Kane. Since COVID, I have been diagnosed with several lung conditions and have benefited greatly using Immunocal. Recently, I began focusing on the sport, I guess the sport product, because of the additional lung benefits. I am on no medications, and my pulmonologist was open to monitoring my progress using my methods to enhance my body's ability to heal itself. Wow, kudos, congratulations. The last pulmonary function test was improved by 10% in one area and 35% in another. His advice was whatever you are doing is working. He wants to do the testing every 6 months rather than yearly, not because I'm concerned, but because I'm curious. My question relates to a real setback with the smoke in the Pacific Northwest. We had several days of poor air quality, and I am still dealing with a cough. Would it be helpful to breathe medical glutathione in a nebulizer for immediate delivery to the lungs, or could it actually cause problems? This is a good question.
That is a good question, and I don't think you're going to absorb medical glutathione into the lungs. It is a rather large molecule, and yeah, I don't think that's going to be beneficial with helping you. But that is a great question. Definitely, I'd be wearing a mask outside to help to mitigate the amount of smoke particles that are getting into your lungs. Um, I would be trying to limit my outdoor exposure as much as possible. Um, there are uh, you might want to just be doing like Epsom salts and things to moisten the lungs and help to expectorate some of those particles that do get into the lungs. So that would be a good idea. And you might consider increasing your dosage of glutathione with the Immunocal and not just taking whatever you're taking now. You might consider increasing to 2 packs if you're taking 1 pack, etc.
That's where I thought the question was headed before I got to the ending. I thought they were going to ask if they should increase it during that period. Um, let's see, Parkinson's.
Well, they just did. I've not seen the study, but I heard about it from the president of Immunotech, and they did a clinical trial with Parkinson's, and they were seeing that in many cases, 1 dose of the Immunocal would dramatically reduce or eliminate the shakes from Parkinson's. So definitely.
Yeah. And Dr. Gutman shared a video where they were doing an IV, right? And the person would be able, they came in on a wheelchair and they'd get the IV and then they could walk down the hallway and then they would go home. By the time they got home, they could no longer walk. That's how quickly it's processed out of the body, which is why, the precursor is so much better because it'll allow you to produce the glutathione in all the cells and it's 24/7, as long as you're taking it, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
So here's David has seen it in pharmacy pictures in a video. And he also said that she spoke recently. What an amazing testimony. So I guess he's referring to Shelby, maybe?
Yes, probably. Yes.
Okay. How does this address parasites?
That's a good question. It will help with the toxins of parasites, but you need to get rid of parasites. And this is not something that has been shown to eliminate parasites. So you still have to do whatever you're going to do. We often use something like wormwood herb, but you've got to do your due diligence to eliminate the parasite.
So, okay, so next one is, whoops, just jumped on me, sorry. For a person with Sjogren's disease, the best way to start on Immunocal, including which pack, I'm sorry, I've got things covering up my screen. Which pack and amount? Thank you.
Yeah, with these advanced diseases, and Shelby is a good example, you want to start low dose, and not go crazy unless you enjoy what she experienced. And it does get you to the end quicker. There is that benefit, but it might put you down for 2-3 weeks like she experienced. So I think it's best if you start with 1 pack and let your body get used to that and the benefits of that, and then gradually increase to 2. And I'm a fan of the platinum for a lot of these degenerative conditions. It helps feed the body, helping to build up your lean muscle mass, and it also helps with cytokines. So I'm a fan of the platinum in this type of.
I would agree. So I guess the phrase we use is low and slow to start. It's better to just take a little extra time to ramp up than to overdo it, I believe. Um, Even if people feel they're strong and they can tolerate it, it gets confusing. Then they're not sure if it's helping, it's not helping, it's making it worse. Are they over detoxing? Just a million questions come up. Whereas if you just go another week of building up slowly, and you don't have to do whole packets. So especially with children or young adults or females that maybe don't weigh that much. Maybe somebody weighs 100 pounds. So we should explain a dose is basically one packet is for a person, an adult that's about 140 pounds, which is, what is that in kilograms? We
Don't
70?
know.
Yeah, we tried to figure this out
Maybe
with the
60
European
some,
folks.
65, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
But then if you had a child that was 70 pounds, you do a half a packet. And then what do you do with the other half a packet? You put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the refrigerator. And that's also the way you may want to increase over time. So maybe start someone off with one packet and then gradually increase it, and do a quarter of a packet or a third or a half, and then save the rest and use it the next day. That works well. And if you do too much, what do, Dr. Phillips?
You back off.
There you go. It's like common sense, but it's so easy. How does this help diabetics?
That's pretty easy. Diabetes is an inflammatory condition, so you're going to control inflammation. All that sugar is very inflammatory. You're going to control that inflammation. You're going to lower your A1C, which is a big biomarker that they watch for your blood sugar level. And then your body becomes less responsive and more sensitive to insulin. So you build up this insulin resistance, and you aren't responding at a cellular level to the insulin that's being secreted. So your pancreas has to secrete more and more and more, and then pretty soon you've got to inject or have a pump or what have you to supplement your insulin, because the pancreas can't keep up and keep your blood sugar at the right levels. This helps create a normal level of sensitivity to the insulin, so it brings your blood sugar down. You're less dependent on external sources of insulin and medications, and again, certainly diet and lifestyle in all these conditions are important. So layering that in is essential, especially in diabetes. And but that's what you can expect with a diabetic and taking the Immunocal.
So Catherine is thanking you for the suggestions regarding the poor air quality and the effect on her lungs. She's going to add another packet to her current 2 per day for a few days and see if that helps.
Awesome.
Can you give it to pets?
Absolutely. Pets love this thing. They just lap it right up. I hear some people sometimes, I've not had a problem, but I've taken supplements for decades. I've not had a problem taking the Immunocal. I've had some people that don't care for the taste of it. Some people, the blue packet that they describe as like a buttermilk flavor. You can add a little juice and kind of swirl it in and give it a flavor. And to me, that's the key if you have trouble with the taste. But the pets love it. They have no problem with the taste.
Yeah.
They just lap it right up, dry, wet, drop it on the floor, whatever you want, and they're going to lap it up. And to me, that's the biggest indicator that you need this, because pets have innate intelligence and they have no prefrontal cortex to stop them from eating something that maybe tastes bad. If they know their body needs it, they're going to lap it up. Taste doesn't matter to them. Yes, they enjoy good taste just like we do, but if their body needs it, they're going to lap it up. And so that's what you should be doing. You should be taking Immunocal for your health.
Right. Yeah, that it's important that you enjoy it. I enjoy the shot. I crave it. I even lick it off the cover on the cup. I mean, I don't
Me
want to
too.
I take a spoon, a plastic spoon, and I get every little crumb off the sides. And that's another good indicator. But my wife, coconut water. So I just use plain water. She uses coconut water. I have a friend that uses juice, and they love it that way. So I think the key is to find what's palatable to you. And keep in mind with children, if you have it using it with children, that after 30 days, their taste buds change. So I learned this with supplements years and years ago. So they may resist a little in the beginning. So give it to them in a way that they like it. So if they like Greek yogurt, mix it in with Greek yogurt and a little local honey, a little fruit on it, and or applesauce, so that they can get it. But I haven't had any issues really with any of the children. I have a number of children on the autistic spectrum now that are taking it, and they just down it like a shot, no complaints from anybody. And I thought I'd get some, you know, negative feedback maybe somewhere along the line, but nowhere, which is great.
Let's Dan, let's take a pause and make
Okay.
sure we don't have questions at Kim or Tibor's location from the meeting sites, and make sure we're addressing those folks as well and not eliminating them from
Good point.
any input that they might have or questions that they might want to have answered. Kim or Tibor, any
Yes, we have one question here. Phyllis, what was the question? Lupus.
Yes, the Immunocal will absolutely help with lupus. I don't think that's one of the functional patents, but there are lots of people that have taken it and gotten great results with lupus. So absolutely. Again, this is a chronic degenerative disease. You want to start low, work up, and keep going until you're getting some good results. And by what I mean is give your body at least a week to 10 days with a packet. Then if you're not seeing benefit, go to 2, another week to 10 days, then go to 3. Because some of these chronic conditions, cancers and things, I believe it's Dr. Gutman, he recommends 4 packets if you're trying to beat cancer. So sometimes we think, oh, 1 packet a day, that's good. I don't have a health challenge and I take 2 a day. I think Dan takes 2 a day. So we don't have health challenges, but we're old, right? we want to make up for lost time because we didn't hear about this product, and we're already decades past the dip in our glutathione. So we're trying to make up for lost time.
I always had this picture. People love this. Before I started taking it, I had this picture of I had 2 glutathione modules hanging on for dear life in my body. And now I've got an army. And
there you go.
feel great. So,
Dr. Phillips, one more question.
Yes.
Guys. Low thyroid function.
Yes. So with your endocrine system, that's a great one for the platinum, because there's benefits to the platinum to helping to balance out the endocrine system. And a lot of times with low thyroid function, you have what's called endocrine disruptors, and they get on the cell and they block the receptor sites of hormones. And so sometimes you have all the symptoms of hypothyroidism, and your blood work looks good because, again, that's just a transportation medium. So all the molecules are there, but the receptors, the information is not being communicated to the thyroid, so the thyroid is unresponsive. I always say it's like when my wife is trying to talk to me while I'm watching college football. It just doesn't happen. So that's the same thing. And here's an interesting phenomenon, Synthroid, which is common medication for the thyroid. It actually has one of the most powerful endocrine disruptors in it that pushes iodine out of the thyroid. And then you end up with bromine in there. And you just get a weaker and weaker thyroid over time from taking Synthroid. And that's a very popular thyroid medication. So it's good to kind of research what these medications are doing in the body and how they work.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so ask him if he can, if you should stop taking the Synthroid.
Should you stop taking?
Well, I'm not supposed to advise you as a non-prescribing doctor what to do with your medication, and as your non-prescribing physician what to do with your medication, but you can do whatever you choose with that information.
Great.
Great, thank you. Any other questions here? Okay, we're good here.
Okay, we have a bunch of questions in chat. Want to run through them quick? For what?
Yes, we can run
Yeah.
through them real quick.
Okay, for diabetes, over what time for those results you were talking about before?
Well, it depends how bad you are. If you're an insulin dependent diabetic, it can take year to 2 to 3 years because
Okay.
there's a lot of healing that has to take place.
Right. That's
Again, there's
interesting.
negative feedback loops. And so when you're injecting insulin, it just makes your pancreas weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. So you really need to take things that bolster your pancreas so it can start coming back online as you wean back the insulin.
Okay. What if you're on a statin for high blood pressure?
Yes, I would
What
definitely take this product.
before
Personally,
it?
personally, again, I'm not supposed to tell you what to do with your medication. I do not think there's any long-term health benefits to being on a statin. And you can do your own research, but there are lots of good books out there about the long-term dangerous ramifications from taking statins, written by medical doctors.
What meds could be weaned off of or stopped with this product?
Almost all of them.
And how would you go about that?
Working with your prescribing doctor.
Will it affect or help heartburn?
It will affect it. It depends on the cause of your heartburn. So, you hear about people that have, the different infections in their stomach and things like that. This will help with that and eliminate your heartburn. If you have poor digestion and then your food is literally rotting in your stomach and you're not producing enough hydrochloric acid, then you probably need to be on a digestive aid to assist, even with the proper assimilation of this product. But that's a whole nother discussion that doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you. Here's some good advice for mixing it. You can mix it with yogurt, applesauce, pudding, cottage cheese. So those are some good options. Just an FYI, there's an all-natural apothecary site, Blue Moon Apothecary, for things like parasite cleanse. Blue Moon Apothecary is in Ohio Falls, Idaho. It can be Googled. It's a commercial break. Is it fair to say that when we use this precursor, Immunocal, it helps the body to improve its production of glutathione, which helps the body begin to improve its overall health no matter what the particular issue is?
That is fair to say.
That's fair. Is this recorded to share?
What's going on? Over. There we go. How's that? That's good. Good.
Is this recorded to
That had to
share?
get out of my system.
Can glutathione levels be found
That
or
was
tested
toxic,
for in blood
major
work?
toxic.
Can glutathione be what?
Tested,
It's
found or tested in a blood work?
Somebody used to have.
Somebody needs to mute.
I'm trying to find her.
I think I found her.
Thank you.
Okay. Can glutathione what?
Where did it go? Can glutathione levels be found or tested for in blood work?
Yes. But that's not the most important test, but it can be, yes.
So why don't you elaborate just so they understand?
Tissue testing is the most important, but blood work is an indication. Like if you wanted to see that levels were rising in your body, you would see a rise in your blood levels. If you did it today and then you started glutathione and 90 days from now you test it again, you would see a change.
Great. Interesting. So this helps people on Synthroid.
Yes.
Do you recommend platinum for diabetics?
Yes.
How can this help with people who have had strokes and other brain cognition issues?
So again, when you have stroke, you have dead cellular debris because you've got necrotic tissue, dead tissue in your brain. And so this helps clean all that up so that your body can start to heal that and replace that and work around that and get new blood supply, what they call angiogenesis and neurogenic changes in your head. So it gets rid of all that necrotic tissue.
From Sherry, for the thyroid question, I have Hashimoto's and Immunocal has been amazing. I sleep well, my hair is thicker, my skin is better, no more brain fog, great energy. My thyroid is not swollen anymore, and I do not take thyroid medication. Congratulations.
So these autoimmune conditions, Immunocal works great. And Hashimoto's is autoimmune.
Great. Can you repeat the protocol, please, for the pancreas diabetic approach? So someone with pancreatitis and diabetes.
I don't know that I gave a protocol, but I would recommend starting with a pack of the platinum and working your way up till you're getting some good results.
There you go. Good. Well, it's 9:02 and we finished all the questions. The Q&A is my favorite part. Oh, wait, there's more coming in. Will this help repair the gut from people who've been on drugs like Ozempic? This is a huge problem in society and is going to get worse.
Well, there's lots of reasons you would take this product with things like Ozempic. It helps with maintaining and restoring lean muscle mass. It certainly helps with detoxification, which as you're losing weight, you're dumping toxins back into your body. And yes, it helps with cellular repair. So, yep, this is I think anybody that's doing a GLP-1 or GLP-1 like thing should be on Immunocal.
Wow. I'm asking about people who are off Ozempic.
Yes, absolutely. It's never too late to get healthy.
And want to heal. So yeah, there you go. Well, Dr. Phillips, thank you so much. I have to tell you, the Q&A is my favorite part because every week I'm learning more and more. When they don't ask the questions I want, I sneak my own in. So thank you again very much. Very helpful.
No, thank you, Dan. We appreciate you and appreciate all of you being out there and tuning in and having a desire to spend time and learn about Immunocal and learning about the benefits of Immunocal so that you can share this message. That's our goal, is that we have hundreds of people on here every week and lots of live rooms and lots of questions and good conversation and lots of testimony.